All right, guys, welcome to New Orleans. I'm Michael Casagrande here with Ohio State beat writer Doug Lesmerises from cleveland.com, that plain dealer. Sister websites. We're going to be working together this week talking about this Sugar Bowl, Alabama, Ohio State. Today was offense for Ohio State came to talk. Alabama had the defensive players and coaches came to talk. Doug, what were some of your impressions you took away from this one?
Well, this was the first chance that we really had to talk to Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, since he took the head job at Houston.
Right.
Just trying to figure out, how all that is working. He is sticking with Ohio State through the playoff. We did find out there was a day where the quarterbacks had to meet with the offensive line because he wasn't there. But everybody else saying, pretty much business as usual. Although Cardale Jones, Ohio State's quarterback, was upset, when he found out that Tom Herman was leaving. So that was kind of interesting to me. Here's a guy who just made his first career start. They're on their third string quarterback. They sort of had to have a moment. They said they had to hug it out. Tom Herman had to say, "I'm always going to be there for you, man." And now they have to go play Alabama. So, yes, they're past it, but it was another little wrinkle to add to this preparation that, oh, by the way, the guy who's in charge of the quarterbacks is also leaving.
No, I was struck by Cardale Jones. Very honest. He'll say whatever he's thinking. He's not going to pull any punches. But Alabama had a kind of similar situation 3 years ago with the Sugar Bowl, the BCS championship game when Jim McElwain was the offensive coordinator. They won that game. Wasn't an offensive explosion, but I think different situations this time.
And Dan Mullen, or Urban Meyer went through this with this in 2008. Dan Mullen was taking the Mississippi State job and stayed, and Florida State won a national title. So it can be done. You can win in this circumstance.
Oh, definitely. And I think one of the things, from my perspective, taking away, talking to the Ohio State players this afternoon, their impression of the Alabama defense. They said several times that they expected a basic look. They're not going to throw too many exotic looks at you. They're old school. And that was interesting because Alabama's always known for having a complex scheme. They're going to throw different looks at you. They're going to blitzes. They're going to disguise things, and that's some of the things that the Alabama players said this morning. Is they're planning on disguising looks. They're going to throw some things at Cardale Jones that he hasn't seen yet, being a second-time starter. So I took that away as an interesting note that that's what they're expecting.
They did when Ohio State played Michigan State this year, which is the best defense Ohio State has faced until Alabama. They talked a lot about that. Michigan State does not try to trick you. They're good at what they do and they stick to it. So I think there are some talking points that are maybe stuck in the heads of Ohio State that when you have a good defense, you don't need to be tricky, because Ohio State has talked a lot this year about they look at one thing on film, they get to the game, and it's completely different. And when you're playing Indiana or you're playing Illinois or whatever, those teams have to go crazy because the basics aren't going to work.
Right.
So I think the idea that Alabama's, they're not simple, but I also don't think they know Alabama's not going to flip the script and make up a new defense because Alabama is Alabama.
Right.
Although I do, it's probably more complex than maybe they're making it sound like.
Right.
Obviously.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been an interesting first day of media. A lot of stories to come out. You can read on both AL.com and cleveland.com tomorrow. They're going to flip it. The Alabama offense will be here. The Ohio State defense. It's going to be Lane Kiffin Day for Alabama fans, readers. It's going to be the first time we've spoken to him in a press setting since August. So
there were a couple Lane Kiffin questions today. Like people were asking Kirby Smart about Lane Kiffin. For the people who are watching this on cleveland.com, just how big is Lane Kiffin Day to Alabama fans?
It's going to be huge. We talked about camping out to get a good spot to talk to him because it's going to be. It's the first time we've talked to him, and he's he admits sometimes he's not. There's a reason why he doesn't speak to the media. So we'll see what he comes up with tomorrow. So for Doug and Michael, thanks for joining us today.